And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Saturday, August the 21st at 1:06 in the afternoon. How are you doing? So here's the thing. I have to build. And I don't mean as in construction. I mean create. You know, I'm a warrior and I'm an artist. I'm a soldier and I'm a comedian. Those two things, being a warrior and being an artist, are two of my core principles of who I am. Okay? I'm an Army veteran. I have my code of ethics, code of honor, but I'm also very, very creative. Those two things can go together, but it's largely because of the work ethic that I got from being in the military, okay, that helps me be more creative. Perfect example. Today's Saturday, okay? I went to bed last night, maybe around like 11:30 or something like that. But every weekend, and actually every day regardless, I start my morning at about 4 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because when somebody say, hey, how was your day? I don't consider my day until after I've got off work. But because I start my morning as early as I do, I have more hours of my life, okay? Usually I go to bed early, but that's not the point. I have more hours in my life to dedicate myself to being creative, to working on comedy, to being creative and working on new moves in jiu-jitsu for me. And to me, that discipline of being able to start your morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, not just on the weekday, but on the weekend, it shows how much I want it. Now, I wanted to make this video because, an audio if you're just an audio listener, because I've been thinking this a lot lately, and I realized something that I always tell myself, but I just sort of brought it to light, which is this. I kept telling myself while I was working on a new joke the other day that I have to come up with new material. And I'm literally telling that to myself as I'm working on new material. Now, why is that interesting? Here's the reason. Okay? Could you imagine? See, part of the drive that makes a true artist an artist is always creating more. So imagine as if there was a singer, your favorite singer ever, your favorite song ever, but he only wrote one song. Imagine your favorite painter only doing one painting. Okay, your favorite architect doing one building, your favorite sculptor, it goes down on the line, on and on again. Okay. Now, art in general, it doesn't just have to be something of the fundamental historical arts, painting, drawing, sculpting, etc. If you're a sniper and you can be creative with that, you can make that literally into an art because you're being creative with it. Okay. So the other day I was working on material on a new joke, and as I was doing it, I was telling myself I need to be working on new stuff. And it is new. What I'm emphasizing is that I brought to light something that I already do, which I realize is part of what makes somebody good to someone great. From somebody being great to legendary, which is this. The constant drive, even when I'm, or anyone for that matter, is creating something. If they're a true artist, they will always be coming up with something new. And not just that, usually like that 75% completed stage, they're probably always like me, always thinking of new things and taking ideas, because you aren't ever really sure when, kind of like a tool in a toolbox, that you're going to be able to take out something and be able to use it for a project later, right? I was coming up with a new joke the other day, and as I was doing that, I was thinking to myself, I got to do more. And that's when I realized that, again, just something that's so common sense, it just jumped out to me, which is that anyone who is, like I said, say it again, who is a true artist is always going to be creating. And I guess if anything, it was great to know that I'm reminding myself, even before I'm doing something, that I'm thinking about doing something new. Now, I'm sure we've all had people that were like musicians that we really liked. They only had like one good song, you know? But I don't really know if you can consider that not good luck or not being an artist or whatever. But I think the fact that you're always creating something new is a testament all on its own. Now, I was going deep down into my thoughts about this whole always having to create something, which I do. I always feel that way, but it runs in two avenues: with jiu-jitsu and with comedy. That's it. Okay, I don't strive to find new ways of cooking my eggs. Okay, but anyway, following along, moving forward, I started diving deep into thinking as far as what refined skills that you come up with, that you evolve, you get better at when you're always creating something new. And then it dawned on me that even though you're always doing something new with this realm of a task that you do, be it jiu-jitsu or painting or comedy or whatever the case may be, you may be doing a different piece of art, but because the art you're doing is exactly alike, the type of art, you'll be more apt and attuned to be, unlike a hammer where it's going up and down, being more gentle with your brush strokes, okay? Being more technical with those fine details. Going from being a master to a craftsman to where it's like you have details upon details, like crown molding in the inside of a house. You know, I don't want to be good at comedy. My obsession is beyond excellence. And that's the exact way I feel about jiu-jitsu. And I'm so excited. The hardest thing for me to do, in all honesty, introspectively, is to focus on one thing. And that's where that military discipline comes in, to make sure that I always follow through on whatever I'm doing. But as I'm following through, knowing and having a plan for exactly what I'm working on. You know, there's a famous comedian, and I'm sure you know him, but I'm just going to say it anyway, Kevin Hart. He said, how are you going to make a plan if you haven't written it down? I write everything down. And just like 4 in the morning when I started working on other material, right after that, I started working on jiu-jitsu. And then I went back to comedy. And then I was working on some other things, okay? You know, sometimes when I say these things, I come to like some profound conclusion or something like that. But this was just like a dawn of realization. But I wanted to get it out because if it applies to you, that's great, okay? And if not, maybe when you step away, if you're thinking about it, you realize somewhere inside that you are an artist, but you are an artist with your barbecuing, or you are an artist with your, fill in the blank, whatever it is that you like to do for fun. And with that, sometimes when you bring something to the realization, when you bring something that's so common sense and obvious to like the front of you and you can see it for what it is, it helps me better at that task. And that was my goal of making this video, in all honesty. I recorded this video probably like 10 times because when you're thinking about something similar to comedy, you don't always get it out right on the first time. And me knowing me and always trying to be perfect and creative, even in this video, I know there's a little loss in translation, but I brought it back to the tracks. But that's just the evolution of an idea, thought, and process. Now, if you would take this whole conversation and try to summarize it to like a 2-minute or a 1.5-minute segment, that's exactly what comedy is in a lot of aspects. It's breaking down all the essentials, keeping what's fast, keeping what's connected, and just making what's purest pure. But hopefully, maybe, just maybe, I said something here that will bring something to surface the light that you already do. Okay? And by seeing that and by knowing that, that will make you better in whatever art you also participate in. So otherwise it might make you just realize that you're an artist after the fact, in all reality. I try to have things that I say on here be interesting in one of two aspects. First aspect is it's relatable. Second aspect, it may not be relatable, but it's so interesting and compelling, you're wanting to listen. So if I did my job correctly, and I know I did for myself, because now I can explain it to myself, and seriously, like, when you see yourself do something and you sort of like, not just think it, but you say it, and I feel like if you can explain it, it makes you more aware of it, so you do it more naturally, and then you just start doing it automatic, which is what I'm always working on doing. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I love you guys all. I love you guys all. I've been working out a lot. I just got done rolling, which is basically the term used when you are training, doing jiu-jitsu, when you're going against an opponent. I got my rash guard on, everything like that. But anyway, so I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Hopefully I brought something that's either an interesting thing that you could think about, or instill something that's already a part of you. Because I know I did for myself, and this video is a big part of me helping me. So the very, the very best, maybe it could be you helping you too. So with that being mentioned, I'm Benja Welldone. Thank you so much for your time. I love you, everybody. Have a beautiful day. Benja Welldone again. Check me out.